Okay, I'm back to you with more gaming news. Um, I know I've been gone for a while, and I still haven't got up the Wii U video. Of course, I did do the Xbox One. You can check that out. Why I think Xbox One is a good console. Also, I have the why I think PlayStation 4 is a good console. But this is something that I've been kind of worried about. I wanted Microsoft to kind of, let the gamers know, will this actually happen, and that's if will there be a skew of the Xbox One that doesn't have Kinect, that's cheaper, because a lot of people don't want Kinect. I guess it's there for the casuals, but I never used the Kinect the very first Kinect. I owned one, but I never used it. So I was just wondering, that way they could drop the price to 400, and match their competitor, the PlayStation 4. It seems like a good idea, but according to this report, I found the article on GameSpot. Of course, it was reported. There were articles done on multiple sites reporting pretty much the same thing, and it's basically they have no plans of at this current time. They have been going back on stuff. They went back on the DRM. They went back on always online. They went back on region locking. So I it won't be out of that realm of something they've done this year. Well, just in the past month or two. So I possibly could see it happening, but I don't know. They seem to be pushing Connect really hard, for obvious reasons. I guess they're really trying to get that casual market, the same market that we got this generation. So I guess they're really trying to push for that market. Um, of course, the article I got it was on GameSpot. This statement came from Inside Gaming Daily Report. Quoted. This is quoted. Official source really doesn't say whom. It was a representative. Okay. This is the quote. We have no plans to introduce an Xbox One without Kinect. We believe in Kinect and the value it brings to both games and entertainment, and believe $499 is a great value for what consumers receive with the Xbox One. This is what he said. Um, Now it could be a possibility of next year we might get a version without the Kinect. As it currently stands, you pretty much need the Kinect. They already said that the Kinect, you can cut the Kinect off, but the system won't work without the Kinect being plugged up. So what's the point of cutting it off? And I understand that there are people out there looking forward to the Kinect, but I'd rather Kinect be optional. There's nothing wrong with me holding the controller in my hand. So I'd rather for the Kinect to be optional. Never really was a fan of motion controls. That's why the Wii died down for me quite fast. Never really messed around with the PlayStation Move, the PlayStation Eye, and it's just the same thing with the Kinect. So it's not just me just harping on the Kinect. It's just I never liked motion controls. I always like having just the controller in my hand to play it. And you know, if they do take the Kinect off, it's at a reasonable price. Everything else is fine. Hard drive space. That sales, in my opinion, that sales will be higher in terms of who's pre-ordering it. A lot of people still on the fence of pre-ordering it because of the Kinect. Um, they decide to keep the Kinect on for whatever reason. We all know their competitor Sony was gonna bundle the PlayStation Eye with the PlayStation 4. Of course, they had the controller implementation. If you look on the top of the controller, has the colored light. There's been different demonstrations on different on YouTube. You can find a demonstration of how Sony was going to implement theirs. They decided to take they before E3 wasn't too far before E3. They decided not to even do it, to not even include it. So so they could drop the price down to 400. Um, but Microsoft, mean, I can respect them for staying dedicated to to their hardware. Despite them going, they went back on a lot of things, like I said. But I can honestly see them. Maybe they were talking about for the launch, um, or at least the near future. But I could see next year them releasing one without it. But like I said, you need the Kinect for the system to operate. So will it be like some kind of patch or something? What is it, like a software thing? Is it a hardware? Really don't know. But I could do without Kinect. I really didn't want to pay that. I really who really wants to pay the extra $100 for a device they really don't care about? I mean, it should be an optional device, like I said. But it is what it is. They decided to keep it up there. They answered some of the people's questions about where there are gonna be different bundles, different models, basically one with Connect and one Connectless. But you see they're sticking with Connect. They believe that 499 price tag is a good price. Um, you know, maybe, but not because of it. Shouldn't be because of Connect. Connect shouldn't be the reason that the console is more expensive. You know, it should be optional. But let me know what you think. Uh, this is something they possibly could go back on, but I don't see it happening because they seem pretty firm about it. Um, you know, you could tell when they were showing off Connect, they were pretty proud of Connect. It might be some other issues that I don't feel like talking about, but a lot of people got their superstitions. Um, Whatever. To, just let me know what you think down in the comments. Do, do you mean are you a fan of Connect? Are you a fan of motion controls? What do you think about them currently as it stands? Not coming out with a Connectless Xbox One. Um, like I said, I could care less about it, but you might feel differently. So just let me know. Hit that thumbs up button and subscribe.